Story 1. I have a really good one that is actually true. It happened to me. This could have been a dream, but I testify to this day that what I saw was a ghost. So here I am, a young boy who awoke in the middle of the night. I am currently sharing a bunk bed with my brother, and I am on the top bunk. I look out into my living room and notice everything is dark. However, there is a person in an evening gown dusting my fireplace mantle. The woman was slender, which threw me off guard because my mom is obese. I yelled out, "Mom?" to the person dusting the counter, and the person turned around. It was not my mom, but some older woman. Suddenly, she shrieks, and her face becomes severely deformed. It was like that shit you see in horror movies, like ridiculously scary, especially for a young kid. I blinked my eyes and she was gone. I somehow went back to bed, and the next morning I went to my living room and noticed that even though the TV was off, there was something written on the screen. It said, "Do not be afraid." The text slowly faded, and no one else saw it. As a young boy, this was, and still is, extremely terrifying to me. Story 2. I still have fresh memories of this. When I was very young, about 3 or 4, I remember having a friend named Allie. Allie lived with me, and I would play hide and seek with her in the backyard. She was a year older than me and loved my mom, but wouldn't stay long enough to meet her. My mom didn't believe I had a friend named Allie, I kept telling her, and my mom first got a very white face and told me to stop, and Allie isn't real. Well, one night, Allie told me she had to leave, so she did. Never heard from her again. Fast forward to when I was 16, and Mom told me that before I was born, I had a sister named Allie, and she had passed away due to complications. What the problem was, something about her lungs, I think. My mom tells me that it was probably all a coincidence since a divorce was going on during that time, and I wanted a friend. But I still remember everything about Allie, and I refuse to believe it was all pretend. I regularly make videos for the fans of scary stories. If you like these type of stories, please like and subscribe me for the next videos. Story 3. I have 4 little cousins who never got to meet my grandfather. He passed before they were born. One morning, they ran downstairs for breakfast as they usually do. As my uncle was getting their food ready, one pointed to the fridge and said, "That's him." My uncle, not thinking much of it, said, "Who?" and looked over. They were pointing at a picture of my grandfather that they never got to meet. My cousin responded, "The man that comes and talks to us at night until we fall asleep sometimes." Story 4. My friend and a few of his college buddies were going on a ghost hunt and had heard about some graveyard where children murdered by their mother had been buried. The graveyard was located off the main road, so my friend parked his car on the side of the road, and the group, 5-7 people I believe, got out and followed the small path through the woods for a couple minutes to get to the graveyard. Once there, nothing exciting happened for the first 10 minutes or so, and they had tried everything the website or wherever they heard the story told them to do, with nothing resulting. They got bored, and being typical, inebriated college kids, started taunting the supposed ghost of the mother. This continued for a few minutes before they tired, and decided to go back to the car as one of the girls had to go to the bathroom. Once they got back to the car, my friend, the sober driver, tried opening the handle without unlocking the car because he hadn't locked it in the first place, but found it locked. He attributed this to bad memory at the time. The group drove home, laughing and talking like normal. After he had dropped all the others off at their homes, he went back to his own house. He got in at the same time as one of his roommates, who stopped and waited for him to pull in. The roommate had his phone out and shined the light in the window when his friend pulled in as a joke. What he saw was tiny, baby-sized handprints all over the windows. As soon as my friend got out, he went into the house without saying a word to the roommate. The roommate, confused, went back to the car and tried to rub one of the handprints. They were on the inside of the window. To this day, my friend will not speak of his drive home after he dropped off his other friends and has since sold the car without ever driving it again. Story 5. A man goes to a bed and breakfast. While checking in, the owner tells him that the room next to him is undergoing some repairs, so don't open the door or anything. The man goes to his room, drops off his things, but then is bored. He pokes around the house a little, and with nothing else to do, decides to see the room that needs repairing. He tries the door, and it's locked. He wonders why the owner would even bother warning him about this room since it's locked anyway. Whatever. He peeks through the keyhole, and the room beyond isn't actually being repaired. It's completely empty, except for a figure in the far side if the room's sitting in a chair facing the wall. The man stands up again, creeped out. Just to make sure he wasn't imagining things, he bends down and looks through the keyhole again. This time, he doesn't see the figure, or the room at all, just the color red, like someone was blocking the keyhole with construction paper. Weirded out, the man goes to bed. When he's at breakfast with the owner the next morning, the man asks him casually about the repairs in the next room. The owner sighs and says, truthfully, "I don't rent out that room because so many people have told me it's haunted by a ghost with red eyes."